You'll notice I already have a finished drawing up there in the corner. That is because this is a redesign of a character I've drawn before. This is, I guess, actually it's more of a remaster because I didn't really redesign it. But I had this kind of like uh, observation about when I was just kind of like sketching characters and like coming up with the ideation of characters. I don't actually know if that's a word. I've heard it on different art YouTube channels before, because like it's too close to iteration, and it makes me feel like maybe ideation is just like the incorrect usage. But I'm gonna look that up later, because it probably is a word. I'm just like not actually sure, because I don't know. It doesn't sound like it is a real word. I don't know. Is that weird? Maybe that's just me. So this is. So anyway, the point is, it's not really a redesign because I wanted to make the costume the same and basically make everything the same, but kind of do it better, because I feel like I've gotten better at digital art since I drew this thing, and I drew this thing before I started this channel because I don't have recording of it, so it was quite a while ago at this point. I don't remember exactly when I came up with it, but that observation that I alluded to earlier and got sidetracked because this is stream of consciousness. The observation I made of myself when I was trying to design characters before actually doing a whole pin-up version of them is that the more I actually know what the character is supposed to look like, the faster I'm able to do it. And hey, that makes sense, but like it doesn't always, it's not always obvious about how your process works when you're still trying to kind of figure stuff out, because you have to do sketch art to figure things out. You can't, like, I don't have a completely rendered picture in my head most of the time. But if I actually know what the character is, like, this one did not take me very long. This one took me about maybe 5 hours to do, and it was very much like I didn't have to make decisions on like what the character's costume would be. I did make decisions on what the character's pose would be. Anyway, this is Gallus Gallus, the jungle fowl. He is a kind of a martial arts monk, trained in some ancient temple or something, and trained in the ability to transform into animals and stuff. He's very much inspired by like Journey to the West, Monkey King mythology, except that he didn't want to stick around and learn all the transformations. So he learned how to transform into a rooster, and then kind of went his own way and became like a spirited youth kind of. He wants to be kind of like a con artist. He's a bit of a hothead. He's young, but then he also has a little bit of training from this secret order of like immortal monk kung fu people. And so the idea is that like he's very talented, he's a very skilled fighter, and he's very crafty most of the time with like laymen, with like the people he's going to run into just like out in the world. But then if he were to actually run into somebody who, is there are plenty of people who are better than him at what he does. And so yeah, he's that kind of like hot-headed kid who is overconfident, and most of the time can kind of back that up, but eventually that'll come back to to bite him. But that's where the story maybe would go. I didn't write a whole story. That's just the concept of the character. And this happened a very long time ago when I originally first wanted to do a design challenge that I've done in a couple of the videos that I've done on this channel. But I've just done it as an art exercise in the past of like, I'm going to take an animal and reimagine them as a human character, or as, I mean, I guess they don't have to be human, but like imagine them as some sort of character that is just has the aesthetics and is based on an animal. And this one was the jungle fowl, and it's one that I was always kind of a fan of, so I kept it around. And you'll see that I finally got rid of my reference picture. That was basically up there just because I wanted to mostly use the same colors. I modified the colors yet, and he didn't have a staff before, so this is just kind of, I've invented this this stick. I'm pretty happy with like how organic it looks, and that's all that I had planned. And then kind of like right at the end, I realized what I want to do is I want to start playing more with like lighting, and not just color the characters as if they're just front lit all the time. So I wanted to add a secondary light source, which is this magical green fire on his staff, and I wanted to add some like highlights in there, so that there is that green kind of glow on his left side that comes from that fire. And then I just played with effects for the background, as I always do, because I don't really do scenery, but I do like what this ended up looking like. And I actually recorded that last bit later because I realized that I shouldn't have had the stick in front of his blue feathers. But anyway, here's the finished result, the second version of the finished result, because I noticed that mistake. And, you didn't need to know that, though. Anyway, I hope you like this one. Thanks.